Muted. You're muted. Your mic is muted.
There we go.
There you go.
Good thing I got you here.
Yeah. I'm like, your mic is muted.
I'm like, why? What's going on?
Well,
What's going
shaking my
on?
guy. Same old.
Just chilling.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I talked to trying to get this multi. I'm trying to stream. You ever stream? I'm streaming on Instagram at the same time as this. You ever do that?
Nah, it's too much it'd be too much of a hassle, man.
Yeah. I was trying to do it now. I don't know if it worked. But whatever. Yeah, I talked with Coach Kenny today,
Okay.
which was cool. Yeah, man. He's I spoke with Calvin and a while back, and he had told me that he would want to stay away from Shakur, but Kenny was the opposite. He was like, I want to go right at Shakur. Like that's who we need to fight first.
Right. Yeah, they differ. They definitely differ on that.
Mm-hmm. They're very different. I mean, we talk a lot, but I want to hear your thoughts on that division. Is obviously so much talent, but we're always getting hit with these roadblocks, these negotiation problems, all this stuff. I mean, who would you want to see? Let's say, and I'm including Matthias in this. So five, right? Who would you want to see fight each other of all five?
Out of Tank, Shakur, Frank Martin, Isaac Cruz, 135?
No. I'm combining 35 and 40 because to me, even though it's a different weight division, they're going to fight each. I mean, that's apples and oranges. So Tio, Devin, Tank, Matthias, and Shakur.
In reality, dealing with their situation that's already set, or just my personal preference?
Who you want to see?
Oh, I want to see Devin and Tank ASAP.
Okay.
I want to see. I never really thought about Shakur and Tio, to be honest.
No. Okay.
I don't know why, but I never equated the two. It just, I don't think anybody's ever thought about that, right? Nobody's really talked about Shakur fighting Teofimo Lopez. Like,
no, that's a good point. You never hear that one.
No, nobody really talks about that. And you know what's funny about it is that would do huge here in New York, because Tio's from Brooklyn, Shakur's from Newark, right across the bridge. They fight. Shakur sells out at what's the arena over there in Jersey?
The Prudential Center.
The Prudential Center. He sells out there. Tio does well at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, which is weird because although he's born in New York, he grew up in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that would be a very good fight. I mean, nobody really ever talks about that. It's not even mentioned. But
no, you're right. So like you have your ear to these boxing streets a little more than most people. From all that you've heard and all that you know, and what fight of those five, what do you think is realistically going to happen anytime soon?
Tank and Devin.
Really?
Yeah, I think pressure now. I think when the boxing world calls for a fight and you got two guys that have the confidence and the pride that they have, they're gonna fight.
Okay.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna come to an agreement. They're gonna fight.
And
when they're gonna fight is a whole nother question. But I believe that Tank is after this upcoming fight in March. I don't think nobody's gonna hold Tank back from making a.
For making a what? You're cutting out a little bit.
I said after his fight in March.
I
don't see nobody holding Tank back from making a Devin Haney fight.
Okay. Who's he fighting in March?
You heard me?
Yeah. Who's fighting in March?
You heard me?
Yeah, you heard
I said
something. Yeah.
after Tank fights in March.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Who's he fighting
I
in
said
March,
after
though?
Tank fights it. Yeah, he's supposed to fight in March. So after Tank fight in March, I don't see nobody holding him back from fighting Devin Haney.
Okay. And how do you see that fight going?
I think Devin wins.
Decision, obviously, right?
Decision, yeah.
So, and
His intangibles. I've always said this. There's nothing new. His intangibles and his ring IQ and his ability to control the distance is what's going to get him to win.
would you, and be honest, because I know you're mad close with Bill Haney and Devin. If you thought Devin would lose, would you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because
it's still a 50-50 fight.
To you, it's 50-50?
I'm not saying Tank can't win. I'm just telling you who I think will win.
Initially I would have disagreed with you, but after seeing Devin lately, I think he has a way. It's going to be close.
Yeah,
because of this.
The thing is, it's just style matchups. From my standpoint, is style matchups. Being in and around the sport of boxing and seeing certain styles against certain styles, Devin's style is all wrong for Tank.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's all wrong for him. Along with the fact that he's so, and people. Here's another thing that people get it misconstrued, but that's because they don't understand the sport of boxing. They talk about Devin's weight. He didn't use his weight to beat Regis Prograis.
No,
he didn't. He wasn't bullying him with his weight. He used his technique, his skills, his ring IQ, his counterpunch ability. That had nothing to do with his weight. Absolutely nothing to do with his weight.
And that whole weight bully thing could actually work against him because you drain yourself when you do that and you're weaker.
Exactly. But if you ask people to show them, if people talk about, man, it ain't fair for Tank. Devin weighed 165. Okay, so show me where he used his weight as an advantage over Regis Prograis.
Well, I think what they mean is somebody who's naturally a bigger frame can absorb punches better. And it's almost, what I'm saying, so that kind of thing.
But that goes out the window when you tell me that Tank knocks out heavyweights with headgear on their 16-ounce gloves.
That's true.
That goes out the window.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Not only that, Tank is considered the second biggest puncher, top 3 biggest punchers in boxing, right?
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder dropped Tyson Fury 4 times, and that man outweighed him by 50 pounds.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And
not only that, another example, Artur Beterbiev has all knockouts. He's 5'11". He has a 73-inch arm reach. He's muscular. Caleb Smith is 6'3".
Yep.
A 78-inch arm reach, and is a way bigger frame than Artur Beterbiev.
Yep.
He knocked him out.
Yep.
Because weight and size had nothing to do with it. It's the delivery. It's the skill set.
Right. I mean,
Mike Tyson knocked out heavyweights that outweighed him by 40 pounds and 6 inches taller than him.
No, I mean, in heavyweights, I guess people think that once you're at heavyweight, it doesn't matter as much for some reason.
Which is the silliest thing in the world, because last time I checked, we all human beings.
Yeah. That's why they're trying to argue and push for a super heavyweight class.
Right. And then you think about this, right? You have cruiserweights like Evander Holyfield come out and knock out heavyweights. Size it's how you deliver the punch.
Right.
And on the flip side of that, Alexander Usyk, he weighs 225 pounds. at 6'3". He beat Joshua back to back, 6'6", 250.
Yeah. And Usyk's probably not naturally 225.
No, and he's
Nah.
a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to skill. But if you let inexperienced casuals speak on this situation, the fans don't know. They just listen to what everybody says. It becomes a narrative. It sounds good. It
Right.
fits in place. And you say, yeah, well, he's going to. Another thing, false narrative is they say that, well, Devin is going to weigh 165 and Tank going to weigh 140. In what world? So Tank is not going to gain a single pound.
Right. Exactly.
That
I
don't even
think
make sense.
I think you're right. Mostly, I think there are times like when De La Hoya was at 135 and then coming in on fight night at like 150, 160. I think sometimes that weight and size advantage can be advantageous because you're absorbing punches better and you're just a bigger guy, a bigger frame, more reach and all that. So sometimes it can be, but sometimes it's
But
not.
but 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 even this though, when you say what Oscar De La Hoya, you got to think about this. When did Oscar De La Hoya actually use his size?
I
Now,
guess the
if I can absorb the punches, right?
yeah,
If you're a big puncher and you can box, me absorbing the punches have nothing to do with it. Because Canelo Alvarez could absorb punches, Floyd Mayweather won every round.
right. This size meaning weight, I guess, not height.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So the size, the mass, and being able to absorb your punches, right?
Right.
But again, if you hit anybody clean and precise, I don't care how big you are, right? So let me break it down a little clearer for people that may not understand what I'm trying to tell you. So you can have the mass, right? But your chin is not gaining weight.
Right.
You might be able to absorb my punches if I catch them on the shoulder or catch them on the body because I'm bigger, right?
Right.
But if I clip you, give you another example to go back and give people an example to look at. Shane Mosley was the much smaller guy when it came to Winky Wright.
Yeah.
Right? And remember there was a point in time in the fight, I think it was the second fight, where Winky Wright was laughing at him just catching the punches?
Yep.
Because he was the bigger guy, right?
Yep.
And you remember Shane Mosley feinted and clipped him, bang! And his legs did like this?
Yep.
And then Winky Wright had to get back to being serious.
Right.
Right? Because it had nothing to do with size.
Right. I guess the thought on that is kind of a physics thing where it's going to take if something is if a piece of mass is bigger, it's going to take a smaller piece of mass won't hurt it as much and crack it or break it as much as a bigger piece of mass, an equal or bigger piece of mass will when it collides. You know what I'm saying?
But we only insert that on specific situations when it's convenient.
Okay, that's true.
Because again, like I said, Deontay Wilder weighed 209 pounds in the first fight against Fury. Fury weighed 273.
Absolutely. Like you could look at, people look at Michael Moore or my boy Jeremy Williams and say, well, they should have been cruiserweights and they couldn't take the heavyweight punch. But then you look at Evander Holyfield, who had one of the best chins in history, who was also a blown up cruiserweight.
Eating them.
Yeah.
Eating Mike Tyson punches, eating Riddick Bowe punches, eating Lennox Lewis. Which one of them knocked out Holyfield?
James Toney.
Exactly. A junior middleweight.
Right. The
heavyweights didn't do it, but a junior middleweight did.
Yeah, there's a lot of intangibles. I think sometimes it does matter, sometimes it doesn't. I think the size, when it comes to range and keeping people at the end of your punches and keeping that distance when somebody's taller, that can be advantageous. But height isn't always a weight thing. You could be tall and skinny.
Right. So this is the thing, right? That people don't it sounds good to fit the narrative as used as a deflection. Well,
Right.
He's going to weigh 165. No, he could weigh 165. If he can't take a punch, I don't care how much he weigh.
Right. And to me, it doesn't really matter because if both guys make weight, those are the rules. That's what's happening.
Right.
Right.
So, for instance, Andre Ward, right, was a durable fighter. He got knocked down early in his career. He got dropped by Kovalev, who's a big puncher.
Mm-hmm.
He got up from the Kovalev punches. Kovalev was clearly bigger than him in the first fight, and he won.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the second fight, he stopped Kovalev to the body.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly was the smaller guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, like I said, it only counts when it's in defense of somebody's favorite fighter. It don't count in a broad spectrum of the sport of boxing.
Right.
Inoue started his career at 106 pounds?
108, I think. Yeah.
108, right? He
Yeah.
just knocked out dudes. Stephen Fulton, who everybody said, how is this dude even making 122? Stephen Fulton is big for 122.
Mm-hmm.
If you see Stephen Fulton next to Shakur Stevenson, they look like they're the same size.
Yeah.
Right? So Stephen Fulton, he knocked out Stephen Fulton and Tapales, and he started at 108.
Yeah.
So for him to do it, we say, well, it's because he must be using something. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford.
Uh-huh.
Terrence Crawford, another example. Terrence Crawford has knocked out or stopped the last nine opponents he fought. Jose Benavidez is massive. He stopped him.
Yeah.
He stopped him.
Yeah.
So here's the problem that I have, that I try to tell people. Just say this. The difference is a great big man versus a great little man.
Okay, so wait.
Compared to a great little man versus an average big man.
So wait. What do you mean the difference? That's when it matters, the size?
That's when that's when people should say it matters, because his size along with his skill set is what makes the difference.
Agreed.
That's the difference.
Agreed.
Because
And
when it comes to size don't matter. He just knocked out Mario Barrios, who's bigger than Devin Haney.
you're talking about Tank.
Tank.
Yeah. I mean, Tank will, at some point, though, his size, as he moves up, will be a detriment. His height.
It's only a detriment. It's only a detriment if he's gonna lack the boxing skills. Because if you can't box, Roberto Duran is not a big guy. Henry Armstrong is not a big guy. They're about the same size.
Yeah, but
Manny Pacquiao
legends.
him and Manny Pacquiao is the exact same size.
Right, those are legends, though. Not everybody could do that.
But if I'm putting him as the face of boxing, I consider you a legend.
No, I agree. I think personally that's when he might run into some problems when he keeps going bigger and bigger. But
right. So we can't. So then there's a box that we have to put him in there. I personally don't put him in the box. That's why I feel like he can go up and do what he wants.
Tank.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right.
I think Tank is. His limitation is his height, but he don't lack skills. He don't lack boxing ability. He don't lack athletic ability, fast hands, fast feet. He don't lack none of that. He's durable. I ain't never seen Tank hurt.
I think it's harder for him because people always talk about how he's losing a bunch of fights and then he lands that one punch. He has to work harder than most people because of his height, I feel like, to get in, to negate all of those size advantages.
I mean, but that's anybody as they move up in weight.
Yeah, but he's pretty short.
That was the issue Mike Tyson and Vander Holyfield had. They overcame it.
Yeah, I mean, and Tyson had that style that was being short was to his advantage. He was one of the
Joe Frazier as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, so now think about this, right? Take this into consideration. Tank knocked out Mario Barrios, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Mario Barrios went to welterweight, and two big welterweights that are skilled and one has power, Keith Thurman and Ugas. I don't remember him hitting the canvas against either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Keith Thurman was nailing him.
Mm-hmm.
Tank dropped him 3 times and stopped him in the 11th round. So the only shortcomings we have on Tank is that we always label him because of his height as being too small.
Right. And you don't agree with that then?
No, not at all. I think people around him and the fans are shortchanging him and his abilities.
Yeah.
I think that it takes a special, I keep saying this and I'll say it again. I picked Devin Haney and Shakur to beat him. The reasons why is because they can negate him and stay away from him for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
It takes discipline is a skill. Tank sets traps. Tank is great at putting you in position where he can be successful. If you don't understand what he's doing, you will be in trouble very quickly.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I don't see many fighters out there being able to deal with this of Gervonta Tank Davidson. That's what people miss.
I'm with you. He doesn't get credit for this.
He don't get credit for that because everybody's enamored with his power.
And they think, they don't realize that setting a trap is a skill all on its own.
It's a skill. You see what he did to Hector Garcia? He made him comfortable, made him drop his hands, and knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen by accident. That happened because he forced that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Tank knocked out Mario Barrios. That didn't happen because he closed the gap. You can see as the fight goes on, if you know what you're looking at as you're watching the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He inched closer and closer and closer while Floyd was panicking. Tank was if you look at my live stream breakdown for that, I said Barrios is winning, but Tank is getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. That's not an accident.
Mm-hmm.
That's skill set. That's what's the word? How you wherewithal.
Wherewithal, yeah.
Wherewithal, right? He understands every inch of the square circle.
Yeah.
It's going to take somebody that understands every inch of the square circle with him that can match his chest to beat him and be able to be disciplined enough to stay away and not fall in traps for 12 rounds. Because I think Tank Davis I don't see, and I could be wrong, right?
Right.
I don't ever see Tank getting knocked out in his career. I don't see that.
Because of his chin.
For a few things. His durability,
right?
His chin, his ring IQ, and his slickness. He can use his feet and use angles to get out the way when he wants to. Like he did with Isaac Cruz.
Right.
Like he did my two favorite fights that Tank have is the Cuellar fight and the Isaac Cruz fight. Also,
his mental toughness, believe it or not, you probably know that does play a part in having a good chin.
Oh, he a dog. Yeah. But the thing about the difference, this is and this is the thing, people. This is why above and beyond, and people think, oh, you just Tank or you just a fan of Devin Haney. I'm a fan of both fighters, and do I have a relationship with Devin and Bill? Absolutely, right? That's not deniable. I'm cool with Kenny and Calvin as well, right? Mm-hmm. Me and Tank don't have a relationship, no, but that don't mean I don't see the specialness, and I feel like people are shortchanging his abilities by trying to put limitations on what he can and can't do.
Right.
Gervonta Tank Davis, unlike most fighters, he uses his ring IQ better than Terrence Crawford.
Really?
Yes. You don't see Gervonta Tank Davis in dog fights that he don't have to be in? You can lure Terrence Crawford into a dog fight. You can't lure Gervonta Tank Davis into a dog fight.
You know, you're right. Terrence lets his ego maybe control him a little more in the ring, and 1,000%. Tank doesn't.
Yeah. Earl Spence does. Inoue will do it. Right?
Yep.
There's only two other people that don't do that. Well, three. Dimitri Bivol, Devin, and Shakur.
That don't do what?
That won't. You can't convince them to fight a fight that they don't want to fight.
Right. Right.
It's not going to happen. They're not going to cooperate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, you can force everybody else to fight your fight.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you're not going to convince. I don't care what you do to Tank Davis. You ain't going to convince him. He's going to fight his fight. I don't care what the crowd says. I don't care what Coach Calvin says. I don't care what Coach Kenny says. I don't care what Floyd Mayweather says. I don't care what the referee says. He's going to fight his fight.
Yeah.
because and there's not a lot of fighters that can adapt in the ring.
Mm.
Tank Davis adapts in the ring. Tank Davis is one of the few fighters that don't need a corner.
Okay. Okay.
And what I mean by don't mean a corner, as the fight unfolds, Tank don't need a corner. He don't need instructions. He sees everything.
Yeah, he does.
He sees everything. He adapts to everything. So his fan base is shortchanging him. And that's who I be addressing when I'm addressing these conversations and the things that Tank Davis says, because your people, the fans will co-sign some of the things he say and some of the things, the actions that they do, because there's no reason Tank Davis can beat everybody. He could beat Shakur. He could beat Devin. He can beat Teofimo Lopez. He don't need an advantage. He don't need them to be weight drained. He don't need none of that.
Right.
The reason that Shakur and Devin, in my opinion, will beat him is not because of their size, it's because of their brain.
Right.
It's the ability to stay disciplined.
Yeah.
What beat Marvin Hagler for Sugar Ray Leonard? His size, his hand speed? No, his brain.
Yeah.
He had a game plan. The last 30 seconds, I'm gonna steal rounds every round. And what Marvin Hagler do? He fought Sugar Ray Leonard's fight, and he lost.
Arguably.
Yeah. You understand? So that's the difference. And I think that people shortchange. People got mad at me. I've been saying this. These things get overlooked so drastically because people love to fan out over their favorite fighter and not look at history. I've been saying, and Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny could tell you this when you speak to them again. I've been the only person on here that said Tank Davis is a more skilled, talented fighter than Manny Pacquiao, and everybody they passed out. What are you talking about? No way. Yes, he is. He's a more complete, more skilled, more talented fighter than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is explosive and athletic. He's God gifted, right? He has power in the left hand you can't explain, and he has this ability to move his hands and feet at the same time that most people can't coordinate.
His work rate is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and his stamina, right?
Yeah.
But how many people you see can move their hands and their feet at the same speed?
Right.
It's hard. That's why certain dancers in life, I'm talking about real dancers that people like tap dance and stuff, they're special because they can do that. They can move, they can do all these things with their hands and their feet, and they can coordinate, right? That makes them special. That's Manny Pacquiao. That's what makes him special. He can, but his feet is moving at the same time as his hands.
It's like
you don't see that.
Mike Tyson did that. He was probably one of the only guys who could do that too.
Right, but even Mike Tyson, unlike Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson had breaks. He would move his head and his shoulders at the same time as moving his feet, right? But not as throwing punches at the same time.
Right.
He would stop and throw his punches. Bang, 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 bang.
Right.
You understand? He uses his head movement, his shoulder movement, and his feet to get him in position. And then when he got in position, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao using his feet, coming forward, and his hands.
Yeah.
His feet are started stepping at the same time his hands is.
That's true.
That's how Keith Thurman got caught, because that's unusual.
Right.
He thought he was out of range.
That's true. Even Roy Jones would leap in and throw a punch as he's in the air, but he wouldn't move his feet and punch at the same time.
Won't even move his feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but again, we have been gifted very short amount of people. Roy Jones, Manny Pacquiao, that are athletically just super duper gifted like that. You can't explain that. That can't be taught.
True.
They are the Michael Jordans of boxing. And Michael Jordan, you can't teach. Michael Jordan was the highest jumper. He was the fastest runner. All in one. You can't teach that.
Right.
And especially when you add in the fact that he was committed. Because we know commitment commitment beats talent.
Yeah.
Dedication and commitment can beat talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you got a talented fighter a talented athlete that's dedicated and committed, they hard to beat. That's Tank Davis. So when I say that Tank Davis is more skilled and more talented than Manny Pacquiao, I mean that. And when I said that, when they was talking about, people was hypothetically speaking, and they were saying Manny Pacquiao's too big for Tank. No, he's not. Y'all shortchanging this man. Stop shortchanging him. He's not, especially at this advanced age of Manny Pacquiao. Tank Davis is not too small for him.
No, definitely not.
No. But you have people out here, man, Manny Pacquiao trying to pick on him. He need to fight Boots. What are you talking about? Tank Davis can beat Manny Pacquiao. He's more disciplined. He's more precise with his punches. He's more well-rounded.
Right.
He's just more molded.
Right.
People don't give the dude enough credit. Man, he can't go to 140, man. It's panic mode because he has a rabid fan base.
Yeah, he does.
And the worst thing that happened, Marco, I'm gonna tell you this. The worst thing that happened with the Tank Davis fans, not Tank Davis himself, but the fan base and the people around him, is the way Errol Spence lost.
Okay.
Because they didn't see that.
No.
And now they in panic mode. Oh man, this gonna happen. That can happen to Tank. Man, I ain't gonna. They protect her. They trying to bubble wrap him. Man, I'm not gonna go. I ain't letting Tank go up there and fight. Why not? Dudes come up and fight him. Why he can't go up and fight other people? Hector Garcia ain't never fought at 135.
So you think Tank's fan base is more so like that than other fighters' fan base?
Oh no, there's a few fan base that's rabid. Errol Spence fan base is rabid.
Yep.
Manny Pacquiao fan base is rabid. Anthony Joshua fan base is rabid. Deontay Wilder fan base is rabid.
True.
Who else right now? Canelo Alvarez fan base.
Mm.
He can't do no wrong.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
There's certain fighters that, you know, and I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder. Everybody knows he's like my brother. So Deontay Wilder can't do no wrong in my eyes. But I'm a realist. You understand? But I have a soft spot for people that want to give back and appreciate the fans and understand what the fans offer to the sport of boxing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have a soft spot for that, Marco, because, you know, when you can identify and realize and understand that if you don't have this fan base, you ain't got no Bentley, you ain't got no big diamond chains, you ain't got none of that. And you understand and appreciate the fans. Not saying you got to do everything the fans want you to do, but you appreciate that. I got a soft spot for that.
Right. Right. I get it.
So I watched Deontay Wilder when we was at Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia fight, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. We was in Texas. Yeah, I think it was. I watched him sign an autograph. It took him 2 hours to leave the ring seats, to get to his car in the back. It's on tape. Me and Ellie Setback. Ellie Setback has it and I have it. He signed just about every person that asked him to sign or take a picture. Wow. It took him 2 hours, to the point where Kelly Swanson got upset because she's like, you're taking the security away, so on and so forth. He even went to the first level in the crowd, where the crowd is on that first level, that first tier. He went right there and took pictures with each and every person as he walked out the arena. At the same time, talking to me and Ellie, and we asking him questions. This is all true.
Wow.
How could you not appreciate that?
Yeah, that's dope.
And guess how many security guards he had with him?
None.
One.
Oh, he had one? I always said none.
Just one, and it's not even really a security. It's like a family member.
Right. Okay. What do you think about?
Same reason I got the soft spot for Errol Spence.
Why?
That's
he does
the same
that too?
reason, because Errol does the same thing.
Does he?
He does.
I mean, I heard he was a little like, for example, with you, Roy Jones told me that Errol refused to shake his hand. Like, I heard that he gets a little touchy.
Yeah, yeah, but that's because he rock with you. If Earl will kick, he's a down to earth person. He could be
Uh-huh.
he ain't perfect, so if he believe he right, he believe he right. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But you see, even when he said that with me, he still doubled back and came back.
Right.
You know
It
what I'm
seemed like he
saying?
kind of felt bad. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Earl is a he a competitor. Can he be bullheaded? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't. Errol Spence is not a cocky, like, that's not who he is. He's
Yeah.
very approachable, and he sees and watches everything.
Right. It's just,
That's
I
the
guess
thing.
some fighters, and I've been learning this myself now with certain fighters reacting to me, but some fighters get very touchy off things they see. Like
Well, let me
you.
tell you what with the Roy Jones and the Sugar Ray Leonards, and they turned out to be right. But this is what happened with that situation is that they were asked, obviously that was the biggest fight. Who you think gonna win? These dudes is picking Terrence Crawford, and then you ask them, "Did you ever watch Terrence Crawford fight?" And they're like, "Man, twice." Huh? So how you picking Terrence Crawford? You understand? Like, that almost sounds personal. You ain't never watched him fight,
Right.
so how you picking him? You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just my personal opinion. That's why I think it stemmed from. You know what I mean?
What do you think about the boogeyman about Matthias? Do you think he has? We talked about this briefly, but I thought that he has the tools to possibly beat all the guys. But I don't think you agree with that, right?
No,
So do you
I don't.
think
I
he
don't
can?
think he could beat T.O. I don't think he could beat Devin. I don't think he could beat Rolly. Uh, uh, can he beat Ryan Garcia? Possibly, but
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia's this, he don't do that shoulder roll, whatever. His offense is his defense at times, and that can freeze Matias. And Ryan don't get tired. His hand speed don't get tired. He don't. He
So
don't. He don't. He don't. So Matias, and I like Sabril Matias, but this notion that he is the boogeyman just came out of nowhere.
it did
Dude,
one fight.
yeah, dude, he had that tragic fight with Maximus, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he beat Malik Hawkins, right?
Hmm.
And he beat Brettis Prescott. So, but he fought a dude, a Nyan, and uh, uh, dude is 14 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 7 wins by way of knockout. He got dropped and he lost.
Right.
Now, did he come back and win and get a knockout? Yeah, he did. He avenged it for sure, no doubt.
Oh, he got
But
dropped in that
how's
fight.
he a boogeyman? Yeah, how's he a
Mm.
boogeyman where you got outboxed by
I guess
somebody
it's
with no power
I guess it's the record. People look at the 20-0 all knockouts, and
or
it's impressive.
knockouts? Right. But just take that into consideration. Nobody says Ryan Garcia is the boogeyman,
Right.
and why he got Ryan Garcia got what, 20 knockouts or something like that, 24
I,
knockouts.
I guess Ryan isn't considered to be a hard-nosed, tough fighter. He's considered more of a pretty boy for some reason, whereas Matthias is considered like a rough fighter. Maybe that's
Right.
why.
But that's what I'm saying. So we because again it's the narrative created.
Right.
Because what makes it different? Ryan has fought and beat better competition, right? He beat Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna,
Okay. Yeah.
and he beat Oscar Duarte,
Right.
and he knocked all of them out.
Right.
So why is Ryan Garcia not the boogeyman? Because he got knocked out by Tank. Tank knocked out everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, it's the perception. Because like you said, Ryan Garcia is perceived as the pretty boy.
Mm-hmm.
So because he's perceived and looked at as the pretty boy, then you don't consider him a knockout artist or a boogeyman.
Yeah, I mean he has one of the fastest, really just the left hook, because I won't say fast hands because not his right, but fastest left hooks I've seen in a long time.
But even if you look at Ryan Garcia's uh, uh, um, straight right hand, right? How fast it comes out with the authority and the power it comes out with. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The sport of boxing will just create a narrative. You understand? Ryan Garcia has 20 knockouts and one loss. Sabrina Matias has 20 knockouts and one loss. Well, what's the difference? If you put the same level of opposition in there with Ryan, I'm pretty sure he has 20 wins by way of knockout too.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I guess it's just the way he did it and the fact that he knocked him out every time.
Yeah. So it's like, and at least Ryan got knocked out by Tank. He lost to a guy that only has 7 knockouts, 14 wins, 2 losses, and 2. Who
Right.
knows who Anayan is?
True.
Everybody know who Tank is.
Right.
So
Right.
why don't he get the same credit and the same? Because the perception. Perception is reality in the sport of boxing.
People also always like to find that neck. I feel like us fight fans want to be part of seeing that 1 in a billion fighter. They want to be like, oh no, I lived through watching this guy fight. So we're always looking for that 1 in a billion fighter.
Right.
So everybody's always looking
And
for it.
and that's what we do. We create a this is why I call the sport of boxing the Wild Wild West. Because only in the sport of boxing can you create your own world and actually live in it. Only in boxing. In no other sport can you do that. But in boxing you can. We could just make up a narrative. We could just pick a fighter and make him a superstar.
Right.
He's the boogeyman. Huh? How's he the boogeyman?
Right.
Who did Sabrina Matias beat for that belt?
I just found out he had a belt. I didn't even realize he had one.
My point exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not.
Devin beats Regis for the belt. T.O. beats Josh Taylor for the belt. And he's the boogeyman.
So you don't even think Subriel is above Ryan? You think he's at Ryan's level or below Ryan's level?
I think that was a 50-50 fight.
Okay.
And I'm giving Ryan the edge.
Okay. That'd be a good fight. They should fight, but I don't think Ryan would fight him because it's not enough reward, too much risk.
Right. So let me see Sabrina Matias versus Ishmael Barroso then.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Because again, like I said, T.O. beats Josh Taylor, the best fighting division. Devin beats the second best fighting division, and Regis. And Sabrina Matias beat who we don't even know for the belt. Yet he's the boogeyman.
Right.
Huh?
Boogeyman.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. But Boogeyman, I guess, is just another way of saying this is the dark horse guy who nobody knows who could possibly beat everybody. Right? That's what a Boogeyman is.
He's just a rugged fighter. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just that dude that he beat, the Russian kid, was throwing some bombs. I was shocked that he survived those shots.
And look, he was getting hit a lot in that fight.
A lot. And that kid was
dude ran out of gas and stayed too close in the pocket.
He did run out of gas, and he also looked perplexed. He's like, how come this dude's not falling from these? Right. He didn't know what to do with that.
And he started giving up his distance.
Yep. And got tired. Yeah,
he got tired, and then Sabrina Matias, he came on. He's durable. He's rough, he's rugged, and he's durable.
Very.
But the boogeyman to me is Jerome Boots Ennis.
Well, not really boogeyman, because everybody knows what he could do, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he spooked you because of his talent.
And he's unfortunately in a position where there's nobody for him to fight because most of the guys at his weight are moving up. So unless he moves up to 54.
Yeah, he's in a very, very. He came a generation behind a very solid generation.
He did. He did. You're right. Very unfortunate. And, him versus Bud to me is the most
He
competitive
he,
fight out of everybody.
he could have made a serious. Imagine if Boots came in the same generation as everybody else.
I
That
know.
would have been epic. If he could have with the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, he came in the same generation as them.
Yep.
Kell Brook, he could beat all of them.
You think so?
Imagine his imagine his resume.
Do,
What his
do you
resume
think
look like?
do you think Boots beats Bud right now?
It's a 50-50. The only reason I give Bud a slight edge because of experience.
I say the same thing. I agree. Yeah.
It's this
That
experience.
experience.
I I expect Jerron Ennis to do X, Y, and Z, but I don't know if he's gonna do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I,
You're cutting out. You're cutting out,
What about now?
You there? Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. I project him to do certain things, and I believe he has the talent to react a certain kind of way. But he's a human being. I don't know how he's going to react.
Yeah, and he's also not been, in my opinion, fully tested. Like, he passes the eye test with flying colors, but he hasn't actually been in actuality tested.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, and Terrence Crawford can match him in skills and abilities. So
And exceed him in experience.
Right. So and he sees him in experience. So if Terrence Crawford clips you, how is you going to react? I believe he's going to react, but I got to see him do it. I seen Terrence Crawford do it. You understand? So it's like I believe you could win the NBA championship because you got all the abilities of Michael Jordan, but I got to see you in the finals.
Right.
I seen Michael Jordan in the finals.
Yeah.
That's where the difference lies. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And hopefully we'll see it, but we probably won't. So moving up a little bit to light heavyweight, Bivol against Beterbiev. How's that play out?
I got Bivol Albasan. He gonna win. He gonna win a unanimous decision over Artur Beterbiev. He gonna outbox him.
Okay.
Artur Beterbiev. First of all, he's 39 years old.
Yes. Yeah.
And you look at the fight with Caleb Smith. He was getting hit with uppercuts. Now, obviously, I look for little nuances within. I look for the battle within the war. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To tell me who can win another war, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the little things I saw from Caleb Smith, the little success he did have. Marcus Brown, the little success he had, and he's been dropped a few times. And Bivol is not going to be afraid of his power. He's not going to be fighting. He ain't coming in there and be nervous and jittery and concerned with his power.
Once he feels it, he might.
Yeah, but he's a constant profession. He's like we ain't gonna know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you drop him. You know what I mean? So, he's just too fluid. His ring IQ is too high. He's more youthful. His hands are faster. He's a better pure boxer. He has better footwork. He's just not gonna. Now again, can he get clipped? But he's not gonna cooperate with Artur Beterbiev. When you watch Caleb Smith, he was cooperating, just sitting on the rope. When they was in the center of the ring, he wasn't active.
One thing I'll say about Beterbiev is you talk about the battle within the war. I saw that he often will take a shot to get one in.
To get one, right? Exactly. Right. Because that's his way of closing the distance.
Right.
Because he don't have his footwork is not. He has good foot placement.
Right.
He don't have athletic feet.
Right. but that sometimes gives his opponents a false sense of accomplishment, and then they start feeling themselves and start, and then before you know it.
Exactly, and it go back to what I said with Devin and Shakur with Tank. Bivol is not going to do that.
Okay, you think he'll just keep his distance?
Yeah, he's too smart for that.
I mean, he did that to Canelo, and I think Beterbiev hits harder than Canelo, and he was keeping. He did not steer off his game plan against Canelo. He kept it real disciplined.
Yep, and he did the same thing with Zordo.
Mm-hmm.
Zordo's big and powerful and strong. He's mentally disciplined.
Yeah.
So he's gonna stare clear. He's stare clear. You understand? He's not gonna give up his advantages. Now, is he perfect? No. And it's a boxing match, yes. And Artur Beterbiev is a professional, and he fights at a high level. So is he gonna have opportunities? Of course, but I don't think he's ever gonna hit Bivol clean.
Right. See, my problem is I haven't watched enough of Bivol. I've only seen him fight Canelo, and then so I don't really know. And there is a part of me too that wants to see that narrative play out of Beterbiev retiring undefeated, all knockouts. Like everybody wants to be a part of that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fun, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to watch more Bivol before I could kind of say what I think, because I don't know enough about Bivol.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Bivol, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to a few of his fights.
Do you think anybody?
Joe Smith hit hard. He ain't gonna give you the opportunity.
How about this? Benavidez moving up. Can he beat Beterbiev or Bivol?
I think he could beat Beterbiev, and Bivol is tricky for me.
You know how I feel about Benavidez. Now,
yeah.
I don't know if that'll hold true at light heavyweight. I think it will, but you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about Bivol, man. Bivol is that dude. I think he's special. I wasn't sold on him. I've been to a few fights, and then as time go on, I'm like, oh man, I see what this dude do. You know, in the beginning, it's like he seems vanilla. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he had the Andre Ward effect on me.
How so?
In the beginning of Andre Ward career, was like, you know, I always favor Andre Durrell because he got more flash and more flair and more athletic, and you know, than Andre Ward. And then as time go on, you see, oh, all right, I see why Andre Ward is special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. And I'm not saying Bivol is Andre Ward, but I'm just talking about the situation in general. You see, I started to see it, and I'm like, okay, now I see why Bivol is special, because I didn't see all the hype. I didn't see what everybody else saw. You know what I mean? But then as time went on, I'm like, oh, okay, now I see what people are talking about.
Yeah, I think the narrative is that because he beat Canelo, everybody now thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right, and it was weird to me, the Canelo fight, because I'm like, is he gonna, the pressure? Is he gonna fold under the pressure? Is he gonna succumb to it? Is he gonna, the moment? But like you said, he fought Canelo, and he was not going to waver off his game plan.
No, even at times where you're like, yo, put your foot on the gas, you could maybe finish him. He just didn't do it.
Nope. He like, nope. I'm not greedy. I'm good with winning.
Yeah. There's very few fighters that do that.
Exactly, and that's why I say that Devin and Shakur could be Tank. They're not greedy.
Right.
They'll fight. The way that he fought Canelo is the way they'll fight Tank.
All right, so the last thing before we get going, I want to ask you about the heavyweights. Does Ngannou, what percentage chance do you give Ngannou of actually beating Joshua?
7.
7?
Yeah, 93-7, man.
You think he knocks him out?
Do Joshua knock him out?
Yeah.
He might.
Okay. Okay.
He's Anthony Joshua. First of all, the element of surprise is over. We know you could box,
Right.
so that's over.
Right.
And nobody's fighting Ngannou now, half-assing. That's
Right.
not going to happen.
That's over too. Yep. That's true.
So now you're going to get the best version of every boxer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you saw the amateurish mistakes he would make against Fury.
Right.
And Fury wasn't. Again, I hate to say that Fury wasn't committed because I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It seemed that way, though. I agree.
It just seems that way. And again, Tyson Fury has a knack for fighting to level his competition. So you really can't gauge Tyson Fury opponents because depending upon the opponent is depending upon what version of Tyson Fury you get. If he feels like you're a serious threat, you're gonna get the best version of Tyson Fury. If he don't, you're gonna get a showman.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't really gauge that, but I went back and I rewatched it and I'm like, yeah, okay. I seen the little mistakes and the playing by Tyson Fury and the little holes that Anthony Joshua was 1,000% taking him serious.
Okay.
So the element of surprise is over. The element of fighters not taking you serious and not training like you are a real fighter and a real threat, that's over.
Right. That's true.
You showed us now that you can box. He can really box. So that's over. And we already know you got power. So now guess what? Now you're gonna get a full-fledged boxer in the ring now.
Yep.
That's fully prepared, that game plan for you.
Right.
Not an exhibition, not a half-ass. No, now you're getting somebody that game plan for you to see. Tyson Fury didn't game plan to take this away from him and eliminate this and stuff. He didn't do none of that. You could tell.
Yeah.
He came out. He came out doing uncharacteristically throwing bombs.
Yeah, he tried to end it quick.
He tried to end it with one punch. The first punch he landed.
Yep.
When you ever see Tyson Fury do that? Never.
Yep.
So again, like I said, so that's all over. Now you're going to get a fighter that's aware of your boxing ability, aware of your power, and now it's a whole different ball game. Will it be competitive because he does have power? It's the heavyweight division, so the movement slows down drastically after the fifth round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you start they all start to become a little bit stationary.
Right.
You know what I mean? So opportunities is there, and Anthony Joshua has shown us he can be had.
Okay.
So, but no, Anthony Joshua is fully aware of Francis Ngannou, fully aware of his power and his abilities, and that's not going to be a good thing for Francis Ngannou.
And you think Usyk versus Fury goes how?
I think Tyson Fury wins. Because again, now you're going to get the best version of Tyson Fury. You're going to get the one from the first Wilder fight and the third Wilder fight. You're going to get the Wilder version of Fury. You're going to get the Wilder and Klitschko version of Tyson Fury now.
Yeah, I agree. And so then it looks like it'll be a crash collision for.
And this dude is super small.
Yeah, he's small.
Bro, he's smaller than anybody Tyson Fury fought.
He's small. Yeah.
Outside of Steve Cunningham.
Yeah, his strengths do not negate Fury's strengths. Fury's strengths don't negate his strengths. If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Just too big, and he don't have enough power.
No, not enough power, and just reaching Fury is going to be difficult.
That's going to be difficult, and Fury going to start laying on him and smothering him. He going to get tired, man.
I think so.
Yeah.
People think his feet are too good for that to let that happen, but I don't.
No, if he's using his feet, that means he's not scoring because there's no way he can outbox Fury from the outside.
No.
So
Oh.
if he happens to be using his feet a lot, well, then you might as well chalk it up because
Yeah.
then he's losing rounds. And
Yeah.
Fury has what's 83-inch arms. This dude arms is like 70 something. 70.
What is it?
His
70
arms
what?
reaches like a 78.
Wow.
And
Damn.
Fury's is like 85, man.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big difference. So then it looks like Joshua and Fury are headed for a collision course if both men win.
All undisputed heavyweight British showdown.
We'll see.
It's gonna be the biggest fight in Wembley Stadium.
We'll see. I don't know, man. I feel like who knows? Who knows? There's so many obstacles, so many things that could mar that and stop it from happening.
Oh yeah, the politics, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the opponents in front of them, no.
Probably not. Probably not.
If anything stops the fight, it's gonna be the politics.
Well, a lot of people, like, I agree with you. I think Fury beats Usyk easily, but a good amount of people think Usyk's going to win.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't see that. Well,
I would like anybody that thinks like Usyk's gonna win to tell me how he's gonna win.
it's just because of how Fury looked his last fight. They don't realize that Ngannou and Usyk it's not the same thing, and styles make fights.
And Usyk ain't as big as Ngannou. Don't have power Ngannou has.
Exactly. Ngannou had size and power. Usyk doesn't have size or power, so it's just that simple.
Well, Ngannou was 260 pounds. He was 6'6". He got an 83-inch arm reach. And he has the recorded hardest punch in history.
And he has a chin.
And he has a chin.
Usyk has proven to not have a stomach.
Don't have a stomach. He's been dropped in the amateurs, been dropped in the pros. He's 3 inches shorter than Francis Ngannou. He don't have nowhere near the power Francis Ngannou has. He's like 30 pounds lighter than Francis Ngannou. Like,
the only thing he could do is if he's just like angling around him, angling. But I think he's too small to do that.
Just too small.
Yeah.
It's going to look like a heavyweight versus a cruiserweight.
Light heavyweight, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's going to look. It's the size is going to show up big.
Right.
Fury is not Anthony Joshua. And look, you see when Anthony Joshua went to Usyk body, he hurt him a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's just Anthony Joshua.
That's when he jumped back, right?
Yeah. Anthony Joshua is just robotic and predictable.
Right. Yeah, so, I can't think of the last fighter with such a clear kryptonite in his body.
Keith Thurman.
Okay. Good point.
Good point.
Yeah. Good point. But yeah, he has such. I mean, for all the great things he does, his body definitely seems to be a bit of a weak spot.
1,000%.
Oh, we'll see. Well, all right, man. I appreciate you talking to me. You're going to be on later tonight?
Yeah. I'll be on probably around 8:30.
All right, cool. All right, so maybe I'll tap in then.
All right, great brother.
All right, man. Appreciate you talking to me.
Yes, sir. You too.
Peace.
Peace.